pray that it is not from the hills that our help comes, but our help comes from the Lord. You are the one who made the heavens. You are the one who made the earth. So Lord, we take this time now to thank you for what we've already experienced. Now Lord, we pray that as we prepare for the reception of your word, that you would prepare our hearts to receive that which you have for us, so that we might not leave here the same way we came in, but that we might leave saying, did not our hearts burn when we heard the word of the Lord? Now Lord, we pray, prepare us. Open our eyes that we might see. Open our ears that we might hear. Open our hearts that we might believe and receive your word. Lord, I pray that I will decrease so that you might increase. Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart, let them be found acceptable in your sight. For Lord, you are my strength. You are my redeemer. Bread of heaven. Bread of heaven. Feed me until I want more. This is our prayer. In the name of Jesus. All God's children said amen. What a privilege it is to come to this place one more time. You have your Bibles. I want to invite you to turn to the book of Nehemiah. Nehemiah chapter number 6. Nehemiah. Amen. Nehemiah chapter 6. Old Testament book. Nehemiah 6. To be mindful of all. Amen. 19 verses there. I just want to pull out 7 words. Nehemiah 6. And I want to read these 7 little words from the Christian Standard Bible. Verse 9, the latter portion says, but now my God, strengthen my hands. You may be seated. But now, my God, strengthen my hands. I'll tell you the text today, a prayer for weak hands and a discouraged heart. Prayer for weak hands and a discouraged heart. One of the things I've learned is that life can be both challenging and difficult. And I discovered that every day we deal with a myriad of challenges. We deal with health problems. We deal with relationship difficulties. We deal with financial concerns. We deal with worries, anxieties, depressions, loneliness, isolations. We deal with all manner of things in this life. And I've discovered that not only do we deal with it, but here's what I've discovered. That being a Christian doesn't make you immune to problems. Every day, my brother, my sister, every day you're going to deal with some challenges. You're going to deal with some difficulties. You're going to deal with some heartaches. And the problem is many of them arise suddenly. Many of them leave you feeling fearful and discouraged and hopeless and even overwhelmed. And I think that it's safe to address the fact that when you get that way, most of us, when it happens to us, most of us feel like quitting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we do. We really, when we get to the place where we have these challenges and life comes at us hither, thither, and yon, we really just want to give up.
Yeah, all right.
We give up because the challenge is too much to bear. We give up because our troubles have increased. We give up because our enemies have declared war on us. We give up because of the tensions of life. We want to give up because life just becomes unbearable.
Yes, sir.
Because of the stresses, because of the challenges of life. We figure it is easier just to quit than to continue.
Yes, sir.
All right.
When you think about it, you say to yourself, let somebody else do it. Let somebody else wrestle with the responsibility. Let somebody else deal with the whispers. Let somebody else handle the taunts. Let somebody else deal with the backbiting and the hater. Let somebody else do it. Have you ever been that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You were just done.
Yes.
Fed up. You were finished. You were ready to walk away. In fact, you had already typed up your resignation letter. You had it on your desk. It was signed and ready to be submitted. There's no exaggeration of this fact because, like you, I've also been there.
Yes,
I also wondered to myself, why am I doing this? Why do I continue to put up with the pushback? Why do I continue to deal with the rebellion, with the haters, with those who complain, and with those who sulk? I wondered if there was not a better way. Well, here's what I learned when I asked myself the question. I learned that I am not the only one who's had to deal with trouble. And I discovered that there are some folk in the Bible who dealt with trouble also. Come here, Moses, and remind us. And Moses will tell you that life can be full of hardships. Come here and just remind us. And he'll tell you that sometimes God will deal you a hand that you cannot give back. I remind somebody that even when you think that life is good, sometimes God, it will break loose.
All right.
In your life.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Recently, I came across a man who seemingly had to deal with these kinds of adversity. His name was Nehemiah.
yes.
Yes.
Now, you remember Nehemiah. Nehemiah has a very unusual story, and when I came across his life, I began to see that Nehemiah probably began to ask some of the same questions because he had to deal with some stuff that nobody else had to deal with.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure that when he looked at what he was dealing with, he said, in this juncture of my ministry, things are to be going well, but Lord, why in the world is there so much trouble? And if you read the book of Nehemiah, you'll know he had to deal with some serious and some heinous stuff.
Yes.
Because if you take a brief trip all the way through just the first 6 chapters, you'll discover that he's already had to deal with opposition.
Yes, sir.
He's already encountered enemies and haters. He's already endured ridicule and scorn. He's dealt with dishonesty among his brethren. He's encountered anger and jealousy and classism. He's weathered threats of violence, dissension, rebellion in the ranks. And now when he gets to chapter 6, this last stunt almost takes the wind out of his sail. Because in chapter 6, he deals with slander and conspiracy against him. And he's feeling the pressure. He's dealing with all of this stuff that's coming after him. And I'm wondering, Nehemiah, why didn't you just quit?
Wow.
And after reading the account, I asked myself, how did he manage to continue? How does he keep on going? How does he keep his head up even after the enemy is attacking? Because any one of us would have quit a long time ago. We would have thrown in the towel a long time ago. But Nehemiah exhibited something different. And I wanted to know, my brother, I wanted to know, my sister, what kept him from quitting? Why didn't he give in? Why didn't he just fold up his chest? Why didn't he just say enough is enough? Anybody ever been there?
Yes, sir.
Where your character was attacked, where your motives were attacked, where you were lied on, where you were threatened, where you were talked about. Any normal person would have thrown in the towel.
Yes, sir.
But Nehemiah endured.
Yes, sir.
Why did he do it? Why did he stand even in the midst of pushback? Why did he not give the enemy what they wanted? Why did he not quit? Why didn't he say it's enough? Why didn't he say, well, I can just give this thing up and just go back to Shushan the palace and I can continue my job as a cupbearer? Why didn't he just say, this is it? Well, when I considered it, Nehemiah offered up to me 3 good reasons why he had such resiliency. He showed me that the reason he didn't quit was because he knew something that he didn't mind sharing.
Yes, sir.
Can I share it with you? Here's what Nehemiah showed me. Nehemiah showed me that he could be resilient because he understood and knew, watch this, that his steps, first of all, were ordained by God. You just missed your shot. Watch this. In Nehemiah chapter 2, he says, the king granted my request, watch this, for the gracious hand of my God was upon me.
Glory.
Can I help somebody in here? When you know God is backing you up, when you know God has watched you, when you know God is taking care of you, when you know God has seen you from the beginning to the end, you can go through this trouble with your head up high because God has put you here and God won't put you somewhere that God won't keep you. He understood, he considered the fact that God had his back. Watch this. How do I know? Because, watch this, you got to think about Nehemiah. Here he was, the king's cupbearer.
Yes, sir.
He was minding his own business, and the Bible says his brother Hananiah showed up, and his brother told him about the walls of Jerusalem, and the text said that he was so upset about the fact that he prayed about it, and God directed him, and when he was in the presence of the king, something happened. He began to talk to the king about Jerusalem, and the king gave him leeway to go to Jerusalem. Now, I don't know about you, but that tells me God's in the midst of what's going on. Not only that, I want to submit to you that not only did the king do that for him, he was wise enough, Nehemiah was, to ask for stuff that he didn't have while he was on his journey. And when he got there, he rallied all the people together to build a wall that nobody had touched in 94 years, and he got it done in 52 days. Tell me that God is not in the midst of what he was doing. Can I help somebody in here? You are where you are, even in the face of opposition, not because you've been so good, but because of the fact that God ordered your steps. He took you where you are. He brought you to this spot, and he's doing it just because of who he is. And when you become aware that God's hand is moving, it will help you to be motivated even in the face of strong opposition. Maybe you're facing trouble today. Maybe you're dealing with heartache. Maybe you're dealing with some folk who have just gotten on your nerves. They just run you ragged up the wall. They are giving you fits. Well, here's a word. Take heart, because the Lord ordered your steps. The Lord ordained it. The Lord placed you where you are.
Glory.
And that's Nehemiah. He could keep going, first of all, because he recognized that it was God who ordained his steps.
Amen.
Nehemiah says, well, there's a second reason that I can keep going, even in the face of trouble.
Yes.
He says, I can be resilient because I understand that doing the Lord's work will always create opposition. See, the problem is, a lot of us have fooled ourselves into thinking that when God tells you to go, nobody's going to block your pathway.
All right.
We think that God, when he says go, that the enemy is not going to stand up. I stopped by here today to tell you that once you get it in your mind that when you begin to do the work of God, opposition will come, your journey will be a lot easier.
Yes, sir.
Because you're not going into this thing blind. You understand that trouble will be on the horizon, and if trouble is on the horizon, you know that something is going to happen, but you're ready because you know God's in it. Watch what happens. Here he is. And the enemy comes at him. And the enemy uses tactics to get Nehemiah to quit. And let me suggest to you that he can do the same thing to you. Nehemiah begins this journey to rebuild the wall, and all of a sudden he has a trio of men who oppose him. The Bible says there's a fellow by the name of Sanballat and Tobiah and Geshem who show up. And when they show up, it is their determination that they don't like what he's doing. And so 4 times, the text tells us, 4 times they send to him and they say, you need to come and talk to us because we don't like what you're doing. Anybody ever been there? Where people who can't see what God is doing to you and through you oppose you because they don't like where God is taking you and where God is taking the folk who are with you. And so here they are opposing him, and all Nehemiah does is ignore them. And so then they decide that they're going to try it one more time. And the 5th time it says they write an open letter. And they accuse Nehemiah of doing wrong. But watch what they do. Here are their tactics. The first thing they do is they come at Nehemiah with intrigue and deception. Verses 1 through 4 says that when Sanballat and Tobiah and Geshem and the rest of our enemies heard that I had rebuilt the wall and that there was no gap left in it, though at the time I had not installed the doors to the city gate, Sanballat and Geshem sent me a message saying, come, let's meet together in the villages of the valley of Ono. They are planning to harm me, he says. So I sent messengers to them saying, I am doing an important work or a great work, and I cannot come down. Now watch this. He says 4 times they sent me the same letter, and 4 times I told them I'm not coming to see you. Notice what they do. Notice what they do. They try to lure him into a meeting. Y'all don't miss this. Here's what the enemy does. He sees you working for God. And when he sees you working for God, he says, you know what? You look like you've been so busy. Why don't you take a break? Why don't you back up? Why don't you slack up? Why don't, look, the plain of Ono, 20 miles from Jerusalem, is a nice oasis, why don't you just come and let's meet together. Let's have a little conference. Let's just wine and dine. Let's just talk about what we're trying to do. We like you. We like you, Nehemiah. We want to get on board with you, but we need to know what your plans are. Anybody? Ever had that go on with them?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're doing what God wants you to do, and then all of a sudden the folk who you know ain't right starts trying to saddle up to you and trying to make you think that they're on your side. Here's what they understood. They knew that if he left the work, he would be vulnerable. They knew that if he walked away, that the work would not be completed.
All right.
And so he says to them, no, I can't do that. Because I think you're meaning to do me harm.
Yes.
Can I help somebody in here?
Yes, sir.
We need to learn how to discern folk who ain't right.
Yes, sir.
Because too often we get mixed up with folk who don't mean us any good, and they keep us from the work that God has for us, and the farther we go with them, the farther away from God's work we begin to do, and the less we get done because of it. Before we know it, we haven't done anything. Nehemiah says, oh, I see right through that foolishness. They are planning to harm me. But I'm doing a great work. And I can't come. Why should I cease the work? Why should I stop doing what God told me to do so you can talk to me about some nonsense?
All right.
Now, can I help y'all? See, too many times we engage folk we don't even need to talk to. So he says, I'm not going to do it. So don't ask me. I like Nehemiah stays focused. He keeps on seeing the work. He does not allow the work to cease because somebody doesn't like what he's doing. Then there was a second plot that they tried to use against him. They said, well, since we can't get you that way, maybe we can use innuendo and slander. Verses 5 through 9 reminds us that then when they couldn't get him to come to the conference, they sent what they call an open letter. And they said, it has been reported. Y'all missed that.
All right.
It had rumors are flying.
Yes.
That you really are building the wall for another reason altogether. You are building that wall because you are trying to be the king in Judah.
All right.
And watch this. When they wrote the open letter, here's what it really was. It was like putting up a Facebook post, a Twitter feed, or a blog, or a website. Anybody could read it. And they were saying, Nehemiah, we heard, because it has been reported by folk. Y'all missed it. Isn't it strange how they always say, they say? Y'all ever dealt with the folk who run around her mouth? You know, they say. They say, you are about to, who is they? It amazes me that they can come at you with what folks say, but they can't tell you who said it. Now, what really messes have power.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Rumors don't have to be true to do damage.
No.
Because a lie will go all the way around the world before the truth even gets out. And by the time the truth gets out, the lie has already done its damage. Everybody is talking about the fact that you're building the wall because you want to be king. I said, where you get that from? But here's what I like about Nehemiah. Here's what I like about what he did. Nehemiah, all he said was, what you saying ain't true. And he didn't argue with him.
That's right.
He didn't fuss with him. He didn't. See, the problem with a lot of us is, if we want to go on and wrestle and fuss and fight and word back and forth, I have never seen more folk who put more stupidity on Facebook.
All right.
You ain't got to say that. You just put posts up there and don't nobody have a clue what you talking about. But you saying all manner of stuff and you directed it at somebody. Y'all ain't saying that because some of y'all ain't done it. She got a whole lot of nerve talking about me with her looking rock around here. And then you gonna get on Facebook and your little phone's just like it.
That's right.
You know, you don't have to address what ain't true.
That's right.
You don't have to give credence to it.
That's right.
Because a lot of times the more you talk, the more guilty you become. That need to help somebody. You might not want to say it, but you dug your own grave because you talk too much. Can't say amen on that one, can you? See, the problem is, a lot of times when it ain't true, you don't have to say a word. Stop talking. Look, what would the old girl say? Hush your mouth and keep on talking. Nehemiah does not address this. He just says, what you're saying is not true. But then I like what he does after he just says what you're saying is not true. He prays. Don't miss that. That's important. He prays. But then notice the next thing, because the first two tactics didn't work. So they say, well, maybe we ought to try something else. And so they come at him with intimidation and religious conspiracy. They take one of the priests and they say, I need you to go and send a message to Nehemiah and tell him there's some hitmen coming to get him. And you need to tell Nehemiah, because they are after you, come to the temple and hide out. Now apparently, this priest, Shemaiah, was once credible. Because the text says in verse 10 that he went to the house of Shemaiah, and when he got there, he heard what the man told him. But he immediately saw what was wrong. Here he is, this priest says, come into the temple because you need to hide out because there's some folk coming after you. They try to intimidate him. You know, people, when they can't get you one way, will try to get you another way. So now they're trying blackmail or intimidation tactic. They're coming to get you, brother. They're going to hunt you down. They're going to kill you. And the only way to save yourself is to go into the temple. Now, Nehemiah sees through this ruse because, first of all, he realizes there's something wrong with what the priest tells him. First of all, Nehemiah knows that if he runs into the temple, the work is going to stop. He knows that if he goes into the temple, it's going to make him look like a coward, and everything that he said will be for naught. And the people will say, well, where was his faith? But he also knows that if he does this, he will be violating what God said. Y'all missed it. Watch this. Nehemiah knows that only the priest can go into the temple, and Nehemiah is not a priest. And if he goes into the temple to hide out, he's going to violate God's law. And the last man that did that, by the name of Uzziah, came out with leprosy.
All right now.
So he realizes that what this priest has done is trying to get him to do something that's against the will of God. Y'all ain't hearing me. What God has shown Nehemiah is that you need to make sure that people who come into your circle are true to you. Because this man, who's supposedly a priest, he appeals to Nehemiah's faith, but he's on the payroll of Sanballat. Now, this y'all shout. Everybody that comes your way may not be in your corner. Everybody who smiles at you, everybody who acts like they're concerned about you, everybody who calls your name and calls you friend, may be there just to be a spy in your camp. You got some folk who don't never call you. All of a sudden, they calling you, child, I'm just calling to see how you doing. Baby, if you ask me, I didn't ask you. You know how they do it. They want to get you know, call in because you friends with them, you can talk to them. I've had folk, you know, I can't talk about the house, baby, you can. You go, no, don't throw somebody under the bus. Don't try to get them to talk to me for you. You come see me yourself. If you got something to say, come see me yourself. No. But you got people who will try to move you from God's work because they don't like what you're doing. And so they tried threats. They tried to get him not to trust God. Then they tried one last thing. They tried internal pressure and tension. When you get to the last portion of the text, you'll discover that Nehemiah says the wall was completed in 52 days. And when the enemies heard this, they became intimidated and they lost confidence because of what they had accomplished by the hand of God. Don't get too excited.
All right.
Because just because you got one project done doesn't mean the enemy quit on you. Because the text says right after that, then they began a letter writing campaign. They started getting in good with the folk who were in Nehemiah's circle.
Yes.
Watch, I'm trying to help somebody here. They changed tactics because they recognized if we can't get him from the outside, we can get him from the inside. All we're going to do is this. We're going to get in good with folk who are close to him, folk who whisper in his ear, folk who give him advice, and if we can influence them, they can influence him.
All right now.
And all they're trying, matter of fact, they went even further than letter writing. They started marrying folk into the family of power. Just so they could get what they wanted. And he ends it by saying, and Tobiah sent letters to intimidate me. Can you imagine? That the enemy is so stuck on what you're doing that they will do anything to get you off of your game.
All right.
I told you, and I'm getting ready to sit down, but I told you there were 3 things that Nehemiah showed me that helped me to understand how he could be resilient. First of all, he showed me that God ordained his steps. Second of all, he showed me that he recognized that opposition would come when God told you to do something. But here's the third thing he shows me. He shows me the fact that when you can be resilient if you have a relationship with God in prayer.
Yes, Lord.
See, you just missed your shot. You just missed your shot. Because the text reminds us that Nehemiah knew how to pray. He knew that when trouble came, that he could be close to God. He knew that if he just prayed, if he talked to God, if he had a relationship with the commander-in-chief, it did not matter what everybody else was doing because he understood that God was in control.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah, Nehemiah faced opposition, but he stood firm. He did not give in to fear because he trusted in God. And I wondered how he could do all of that. He did all of that because he understood how to pray.
Yes.
You still missed your shout. When you know how to pray, when you understand that your relationship is rooted and grounded in God through the vehicle of prayer, you can do a whole lot of stuff. He was faced, but he did not give up. He was knocked down, but he didn't quit. He faced challenges, but he kept on going. He was shaken at the God he worshiped. He was moved by the God he prayed to because he understood that prayer was effectual. And when you know how to pray, you know there's power in prayer.
Yes.
When you know how to pray, you know God will do for you what nobody else can. I discovered when I read through the book that Nehemiah knew how to pray. I want to close by reminding you how he made it through. Because there's a genesis of his prayer in the text. You see, when Nehemiah heard about the condition of Jerusalem, the Bible said that he wept, he fasted, and he prayed. The Bible said that when his countenance was sad and he was in the presence of the king, the book says that he prayed unto the God of heaven. And then he said unto the king. The Bible said that when he was exposed to ridicule because he was rebuilding the wall, it said that he began to pray. And he said, Lord, these men hate us. These men are insulting us. He said, the Lord, make bad things happen to them. Make them ashamed and make them prisoners like they want to make us. He said, the Lord, while you're doing that, don't take away their guilt. And don't forgive them of their sin. Because they have insulted us in your sight. When Nehemiah heard about the countrymen doing injustice to their own countrymen, the Bible said that he prayed. He prayed and said to them, if you fail to keep your promise, God will shake you like this from your homes and from your property. When he heard that there was a conspiracy against them, he prayed again and he said a prayer to God, and he set his watch on the wall. When the enemy sought to draw him away from the work and into the villages, the book said that Nehemiah prayed once again. Because he recognized that they were trying to weaken his hands from the work. And so Nehemiah prayed, oh God, strengthen my hands. When he heard the rumors that hit men were coming to kill him, and when he heard that a former friend was trying to entice him to sin, the book said that he prayed one more time. And I need to tell somebody that when you learn how to pray, God has a way of answering your prayer. Nehemiah's life was a pattern of prayer. Nehemiah prayed about everything, and it was his first response to the situation. It was his last resort strength. He prayed for clarity. He prayed for help. He prayed that God would fight his battles. I'm glad that Nehemiah learned how to. But as I travel to my seat, I will be remiss if I didn't point out somebody else who looked just like Nehemiah. I will be remiss, my brother and my sister, if I didn't tell you about another man who faced heartaches and hardships. I will be remiss if I didn't tell you about a man who bore an uncanny resemblance to a man named Nehemiah. Can I tell you that his name is Jesus? Like Nehemiah, this man Jesus God showed me there would be opposition, and I learned how to pray. When you learn those things, I don't care what they say, I don't care what they do, I don't care how they come at you, you can still stand. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. Y'all don't hear me? I'm still standing. Tanya, I'm still standing. Shirley, I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. They ain't knocked me down yet, Cloud. I'm still standing. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still. You may be going through right now. Heart still heavy. Thought you got through it. Then all of a sudden it hit you. Took you down. Didn't know if you were going down. Then you looked up. And when you looked up, something happened. Somebody said, you can make it. And you kept on gaining strength. And before you knew it, it still hurt, but it passed. Struggle is still there, but God's on your side. Heartache and trouble keeps dogging your trail, but you just keep on going. They thought they had you, but they didn't know what they had. And that may be you today. You may be ready to throw it in. Can I tell you, don't give up yet? Don't quit. Don't stop. Don't say I've had enough. No, God's got just a little more for you to do. Just hang in there. Just hunt your neighbor and say, hang in there, baby. Hang